when you start 2 Hours One Life, you will see that it takes some time to open. The first launch is always a bit slow. First of all, if you have difficulties extracting the folder, you should maybe use something like 7-zip or another program than the Windows default program, because I heard that the Windows default program is really, really slow compared to the others. So maybe you should try something else. Now that you have the game, you shouldn't have everything that I have, because I already made the tutorial. You need to make the tutorial to unlock all the other options. If you have a keyboard that is not an English keyboard, I recommend you change the language of the keyboard and set it to QWERTY. Now let's start with the tutorial. This is an Eve. That means I've appeared as a grown woman and not a child. You have the instructions up there, and it teaches you the basics of the game. So you want to get some food in the tutorial, you can actually starve. So open the door and get to here by clicking with the left click button. Then you get the grape and you can eat it clicking on yourself, but you can also use the E button on the keyboard to eat it. Then you have an onion. Now, if you eat the onion, it says yum, okay? You eat it. But then there's another onion and you'll see that it says meh. So you don't have to eat it and you shouldn't eat it because it won't give you any bonus. So that's the yum chain. You will learn it as you go, but maybe you can just check the wiki page about yums. Basically, every time you eat a yum, your level goes higher and then you get the whole level as bonus. Bonus is an invisible food bar that depletes before your current food bar. So even if you have like 4 pips, it won't deplete if you have bonus. It doesn't seem like you should be eating food that gives you low pips, but it's actually the best food. It's the food that gives low pips, but a ton of bonus, because you can then eat to maximize all the food beta and get a ton of bonus and don't have to eat again for a while. So now you just walk with the left click, right? And then I can eat the apple because I'm not full. If you are full, you can't eat, of course. So I eat the apple and I take the stone. The crafting guide is down here. If you take the stone, you will see that it's the stone that is shown in the crafting guide. So if you click on the big hard rock, it's the rock. So you just have to click on stuff and you will see the recipes and you will see how do you make this and how do you use this. You generally want how do I use, but it depends. Maybe sometimes you just want to make something that you see. So you take the stone and you see that if you click on the big hard rock, it becomes a sharp stone. So now you have a sharp stone. And then you know how to use the sharp stone here with the guide. You can drop the sharp stone with right click, and then you can take an orange tree always with left click, and you eat it. This is a food that you have to dig up with the sharp stone. This is also a food that you have to dig up. So a burdock and a wild carrot. You cannot take them with the hand. If I had taken the wild carrot with hand, I would have a seed in my hand and the wild carrot would still be in the ground. So this is a burdock. This is in the green biome that you see here. And this is in the desert. I mean, it's not desert, it's yellow plains, right? So I cannot eat right now and I have one bonus. So let's go on. Now you need to make a basket. That's the basics. You have tool reeds which are in the swamp area. See that bluish color? So you just take 2 of them with the sharp stone. And then you take them and you can place them together. And you have a basket. Now if you right click on the sharp stone, it will trade the object you have in your hand with the object that is on the ground, so the sharp stone. And then you can place the sharpstone inside. Then if you want to remove the sharpstone from the basket, it's just right click. So these are just controls that you will learn. Basically, when you don't have a bag on your back, you just take a basket because it can carry 3 things inside. So there's a wild beet. Let's take the wild beet here and let's eat it. But then we can also bring a banana with us because we've never eaten bananas. And we could also take the wild garlic, of course. We have 3 things in the basket. Then here you have 2 doors. You often don't see them, so don't forget to open them because you get stuck otherwise. I opened them using the keyboard's controls. I will show you how to change that because in the beginning you don't have the keyboard controls. You have to change the settings, right? So you can take the kindling here and then bring it to the hot coals to make the hot coals a fire again, okay? But it says to hold space to freeze the camera, but I have the controls with the keyboard. So if I do space, it just takes what I have on the tile, okay? So in my case, it's F. If I'm pushing on the F button right now, so this means the camera doesn't move anymore, okay? So you should really use the keyboard settings. So it's F, it's not space, okay? So you take the kindling and you bring it on the hot coals. And then you take your basket with you and you go on. This is a pepper plant, so this also is something to eat. Yeah, pepper. So you get all red like this. So let's go up. And you see that I didn't have to open the door because I used the keyboard. So the keyboard opens the door automatically. If you stay on the fire, it will consume food more slowly. See the temperature meter down there on the right? It goes a bit up because I'm on the fire. I'm not going to burn. I mean, in some games you will burn, but this is not like this. So you just have to stay by the fire. And if you get a kid, you should place him on the fire so that its food doesn't deplete too fast. Let's go on. You can go inside, of course, and then there's this fire, which is not a small fire. It's a big fire because someone placed some firewood on it. It's a large fire, okay? So this is even better. And then you can close the door and you are fully insulated. Yeah. And then these are clothes. So you just right click on them. You take them with E or just click on yourself. So E, E, and I don't have shoes here, but I have shoes here. The shoes you can put together, okay? But you can also right click to separate them. This is something that we don't really know in general. Okay, I'm full. This is full. So yeah, I'm going to just take this. So of course, this is a snow biome, so you will get cold here, and this is a desert biome, so you will get hot. And these are cactus fruit. Okay, so this is something you can eat. Sometimes it's flowering, so you can't take anything, but this is fruit, so you can eat them. But right now, I have 5 bonus, so I'm good. Right, let's just go back. You can speak, so you just press enter and you can speak. I'm 23, so I should be able to say quite long phrases. But when you are a kid, you just have the number of your age. So if you are 1, you can just say 1 letter. If you are hungry, you say F, and your mother will feed you. She will take you in her arms and will feed you this way. If you are Eve, you are not named. So if you hover on yourself, you see you, that means that you don't have a name. So you can say, I am, I don't know, Jones, as the tutorial says. And then your name is Eve Jones. So you are choosing your surname. And then when you name your kids, you say, you are Sarah. and your kid will be named Sarah Jones. If you don't have a name and you say you are Sarah, the kid won't have a name, and all the kids she will have and she will name won't have a name. So it's important to give names, and it's also important to be able to ban griefers, because if you have a griefer child, you want to be able to ban him if he doesn't have a name. Then of course you can cycle up in what you've said already with the arrow, right? Then you have to make a hatchet. So to check how to make a hatchet, you write /hatchet. Hatchet will fix here the thing that you can craft on the hatchet. So if you take anything here, it won't change what is in the guide. If you want to go back to something that you want to make, you have to write / and then you can just leave it on the ground, take it back, and then you see that it updated the recipe. So if I write /hatchet in the tab, how do I make? You can see that you need a sharp stone, which you have, and a tight short shaft. And you can click on the tight short shaft to see how you make this. And it's a short shaft with a rope. And then you can click the rope and the short shaft to see how to make each of them. The short shaft is quite easy. It's just a branch that you cut several times with a sharp stone, okay? And you can go back with the little arrow up there. And then you go to the rope, and the rope is 2 threads. Thread is being made with several different plants like cotton, flax, etc. But you can also use milkweed, and that's what you do in the beginning. So you have to find milkweed in any form. You will get a milkweed stalk, okay? So you just get to here and you have lots of milkweed because we are in a tutorial. Let's eat something. The banana gives you a banana peel at the end. So if you try to take something after eating banana and you don't succeed to take it, it's because you have already something in hand, right? So this is the milkweed. So you have milkweed stalks and you just put them together, and this is a thread. And then you take another one, and then here another one, and 2 threads. So you place 2 threads together and it's a rope. And then you can take this branch or those on the ground. But I would recommend when you see a tree like this in your home that has a branch hanging, you should take it because it will come back. So the sooner you do that, the sooner it will come back. And you really need a lot of branches when you build stuff, okay? So then you take this sharp stone and you just cut it twice. And this is used for several tools. Sometimes you need just a big straight shaft. Sometimes you need a small one. So this is with a rope. You just place it on the ground, take the rope, and use it on the shaft. And then you take your stone and you place it on the shaft, and that's a hatchet. So here's an onion. I mean, there are several onions. And then this is pepper. I've already eaten pepper, and this is tomato. So if I'm hungry, I still have tomato, onion, and I think I'm good. So you need to make some kindling. So you use a hatchet on any kind of branch. This is a branch. You have other types of branch, like curved ones and ones that don't have so many little stuff around. I mean, those branches can become kindling and you put them on hot coals like earlier. The tutorial is now complete. Oh yeah, there's a ripe cucumber plant too. This is also something you can eat. So yeah, there's a lot of things you can eat at the beginning if you plant stuff, of course. Anyway, so this is finished. When you are ready to die, you just /die, and then you will have all the options on the menu. So you have get reborn and you have back. So let's go to the settings now. In the gameplay, I don't remember if I changed this, but enable zoom is really useful. That means you can see much more around yourself. So you should enable this. Center camera, I think that's just by default. Controls, you should activate this keyboard actions. That means that you can use the keyboard to make a left click or a right click. You can do stuff really fast. For example, if you have a row of carrots, you can just take them, place them, take them, place them, and have a whole pile of carrots really quick. If we do that with the mouse, it will be slower. Even if you are really fast, it will be slower. So you can really do stuff really fast, especially when you use time-consuming stuff like when you have lit an oven, when you are using a forge, stuff like that. So I would really recommend to use the keyboard actions and to try to use them most of the time and learn about them, because the more you use them, the less you need the mouse. And then advanced. Advanced, you should show use on hover. This means you can see if a tool is nearly dead because they don't last forever. So use on hover means you can see if the tool is going to break or if it has some more use left. And it's the same for the food. It's the same for lots of stuff. For example, on a pile, you can see how many things are on a pile or in a bowl or stuff like that. So that's really useful. Show coordinates. You can have a home marker or you can have just your birth coordinates. I generally use just the birth coordinates and this will show them. So that means if you want to go back to where you were born, which is generally in town, you just have to go back to 0, 0. Use permanent emote. I feel like everyone has that. I don't want it because I want a neutral expression most of the time. And then sometimes I want to show happiness or stuff like that. And then at some point, it will disappear, right? Enable Yum Finder. This is when you press Y, it will show you everything that you haven't eaten already in this life. So this is really useful. Enable Object Finder. You can write /find space, then the object you are looking for. In a big town or even in a small town, actually, you often need that object finder to look for stuff, look for tools generally that you need. Enable family display is for looking at all the families that are currently playing on the server. Maybe you don't need that. Danger highlight will highlight in red the tiles where danger is. So for example, boars, wolves. Save map files is something that you should tick if you want to explore the area where you are going to start, and then look in Town Planner, software that you can download on the side of your game, and you can see your whole map, where you've been. You have to go discover the map. But that saves just the first time you saw the place. If you don't like the map and you want to make a bigger one or something like that, or if you want to update the map, you have to download the file and make it again. So yeah, that's just that, but it's special. I keep it open because I don't use many spawn codes. And then show health food pips. That means that if you have something in your hand that you can eat, it will show you how many pips of food it will give you. That means if you see that it gives you more than the full bar, you can choose to keep it for later, just not to waste the food pips, right? So I like it too. So that was it for the tutorial video. I wanted to show you the tutorial and the settings. Now I'm going to show you the menu, and in the next video I will show you how to try spawn codes and what you should be looking for in a spawn code, even if I'm not really that experienced. I don't think there are so many things that you need to find. I think mines are the most important thing, so we will see that. Play with friend. If you say yes, I don't know what that is, but I think it's generated, yeah. So you can play with friends and it will generate a twin code, and you just give the twin code to the person you are playing with. And then you choose if you play as twins or triplets or quadruplets, and they all enter the same twin code. And then you will get born to the same mother. So that mother will have a lot of work on her hands. But I've never done that before, so I think it's funny to do. But if your mother doesn't know how to take care of one baby, it will be really complicated to take care of 2 or 3 or 4. Then you can just say no, and you can play on somewhere specific. so the spawn code that I won't show you because this is my spawn code. And then you can specify a family name. So this you can check on Discord which family names they are currently on the server, and you can choose a family name. Then you can play in random, and random, this is the default, let's say the default spawn method. You will just be born to a woman that is fertile, and that's all. That's like in 1 hour, 1 life. In the next video, I will try several spawn codes until I found something that is nice to start a town, and then I will make some more tutorial videos about how to start a town.